So, hi, Rodrigo. Thank you so much for taking this Skype interview. And I just wanted to find out, I saw you before and after. I was literally blown away. So, I had to get you on just as a dialogue. Can you tell me a little bit about, were you always, did you ever struggle with your weight?
Yes, it's been an issue all my life, ever since I was a little kid.
Wow.
And have Weight Watchers. I was one of the original Weight Watchers clients. Had the big plastic yellow cup that I had to drink 4 times a day,
God.
all throughout my teenage years. It's been an issue all my life.
Oh, my gosh.
And I actually managed to lose weight a few times. It's I think it's my 4th or 5th time now losing weight.
Wow.
Never did it correctly, but I managed to lose some weight before.
Wow.
a lot harder to lose the weight, but I managed to do it.
Tell me some of the turning points that started you really getting success.
Well, of course, I got very interested in your videos. I did lots of research, basically all over the internet, not just YouTube, and watched most of your videos, if not all of them. And the turning point for me, to be real precise, was understanding what makes you gain weight. I mean, that
It's like,
for me,
duh.
that for me was the biggest turning point. I remember, Dr. Berg, a few years back when the Atkins diet was a rage. I guess maybe 10 years ago,
Yeah.
when it started out. And I did the Atkins diet. I lost weight, but I gained it all back. And I could not, for the life of me, understand how I could eat so much protein and fat and lose weight. I couldn't understand that. There was no scientific explanation that made sense to me. I'm not a doctor. I work with software. I have some technical knowledge. I understand technical things, but it just never made sense to me. Why I could not keep the weight off. And I remember actually a few years ago going all over the internet trying to understand why you lost weight on the Atkins diet. And there's nowhere on the internet that information was not available. 5 years ago, you could not find on the internet how the Atkins diet made you lose weight. The best answer I read was, well, you end up eating a little bit less because you're eating so much protein, which it's not true. So that's the turning point. The turning point for me was actually having the correct information to be able to plan and start acting on it. That for me was the big turning point.
I think I just wanted to interject something, because I think the average person that's struggling with weight, it really boils down to they don't know how to burn fat. Now, if you take a look at ketosis, which is basically your body is running off of the byproduct of fat. So you're running off of ketones, which are basically fat burning. So, I mean, it would seem logical to me that if someone really understands ketosis, they would want to do it, since that's the goal. The goal of losing weight is to burn fat. But I think, number one, people don't understand what it is. It's a new term. They don't know how to do it healthily. And so they end up doing a diet and then struggling.
It highly contradicts anything we've been taught.
Yeah, right. It goes right up and against, oh yeah, eat more fat. Oh, what? Are you crazy?
My friends that are doctors, I have friends that are surgeons, and they're like, what are you, crazy? I hope they don't see this, but, what are you, crazy? Then I started doing this, and a few weeks go by, they're like, what are you doing again?
Yeah. Wow. So now, right now, I'm guessing you're also doing intermittent fasting?
Yes, actually, that's when really things took off. I've been using both methods. They go really well hand in hand.
Yeah.
And I play. Actually, I've learned now I listen to my hunger. If I'm not hungry, I just don't eat. And sometimes when I work out, I get a little bit more hungry. I eat, and I take it like that. And I feel I weigh myself once a week, and I put on 1 or 2 pounds. Then I'll do some intermittent fasting for 2-3 days. It'll come down, and that's how I've been being able to manage the whole weight situation. It makes me feel good too. I mean, the whole energy thing is totally true.
Wow.
I mean, it's I'm a witness. I mean,
See,
it works. It makes you feel really good.
See, this is the goal, is to get you just knowing how to do it, so you can pretty much if you go off, you know what to do to get back on. You can control your weight. You're in charge. You're not at the effect of this metabolism. So tell me right now, on average, how many hours do you go with fasting, and how many times do you eat in a given day?
Well, I do with a fast that really feels good to me is basically about a 20-hour fast.
Okay.
And I usually do those on Mondays because on the weekend, I confess I do relax a little bit. I sometimes I save my carbs basically, and I know I'm not supposed to do this, for a little vino, a little wine. I save my carbs for the wine.
Okay.
Which is the only excuse I can accept is for the wine.
Hey, one bottle is about 50 carbs, so you could do one bottle a night. No, I'm just kidding. So now, let's say you're going 20 hours. So I'm guessing you're doing 2 meals a day or just one?
I do 2 in a 4-hour window. So I usually I'll like today. My first meal, I wake up around 6:30, and I'll have a little coffee with heavy cream, and maybe if I'm really hungry, I'll throw a little bit of butter, a little bit of the grass-fed butter on there, and I'll go the whole day, and I'll start getting hungry around 4 or 5 o'clock.
Okay.
4 or 5 o'clock, then I'll have a snack. I'll have usually a little bit of cheese or some walnuts and stuff, and then I'll have a big meal around 7:30, 8 o'clock. I have a big meal, and that's it. It's over.
Wow.
And I throw in some kale shakes there once in a while.
Okay, good.
I like those too.
So can you give me an example, when you eat a big meal, what's in that meal?
I kept it, dinner, for example, tonight. I'm the cook here at home. My wife doesn't cook. I took over the kitchen. So, and I used that, to make what I like to eat. And then she ended up jumping on the bandwagon. We eat keto. So today I made a big meatloaf stuffed with spinach and cheddar cheese. Wow. So that was our dinner. And a little tossed salad with a little mustard vinaigrette. So I also like to cook, so that really helps things out. So I've been trying to get these. I've made keto bread. I've made keto pizza. And my wife actually lost 16 kilos on the diet too. So I put her on the bandwagon. We're both keto now.
That's fantastic. And then right now you're working out too, right?
Yes, actually, what I did is what I noticed, which is also I've heard on the videos, when you work out, I used to work out a lot in my teens. I actually played some football and stuff, and then I gained the weight, and it was all over. I like to lift weights and stuff. So I focused on the weight loss before working out, because I noticed that working out really made me hungry. I went on walks. I'd come back, and I just couldn't hold my appetite. I had to eat. Yeah. So I sat down, and I did the numbers. Would I either exercise and eat, or not exercise and not eat? Oh, I'll not exercise and not eat.
Just weigh that out. Yeah. Well, that makes sense. I just released a video on that. It's like you do it maybe right before you're going to eat, during the eating meal, or maybe right after, because you're right. You're going to tap out your glycogen reserve, and you're going to be really hungry. So if you want to go through that, it's not that big of a crucial thing to exercise when you're not eating. So, yeah, your before and afters, I was like amazed. So you've obviously, whatever you're doing is working. Now, if someone were to, hear about what you're eating or intermittent fasting, I think what comes up, number one, is like, oh my gosh, I'm going to be so hungry. I'm going to lose muscle mass. What would you say to that?
Right. I would actually, I would say try it. And what really worked for me is I started doing, actually I was never really hungry in the morning. I only ate because I was already overweight. Right. And I like to eat. I mean, who doesn't like to eat? I mean, right. I mean, the FDA had no problem telling us to eat 6 times a day. They could tell us to eat 12 times a day. We'll eat 12 times a day. Right. Because it's pleasurable. But I was never hungry in the morning. So I'm like, okay, I'm not that hungry. I'm gonna have a coffee and I'm not gonna eat. And I went to lunch, and then at lunch I started doing a low carb, high fat, and one thing just pulled the other. It's kind of the intermittent fasting works together with the ketogenic diet. I mean, they have to go hand in hand there. Yeah. I mean, because it was really it made a lot of sense to me, and I felt it because I was actually fixing my metabolism, which I would eat. And I couldn't figure out the life of me how I would go to McDonald's and eat the biggest meal they had, and an hour later be hungry. I couldn't know, but how can I still be hungry? And now I eat more now, more calories, and I'm not hungry. So basically, my system was all polluted with the carbs, and that's what happened to me, and I was able to fix it doing the ketogenic diet. It helped me out a lot.
For those of you that are watching and you're concerned about it not being healthy, what you're doing is you're fixing high levels of insulin. When you lower your insulin, your body can finally tap into fat. All 6 fat-burning hormones are nullified in the presence of insulin. So what fixes insulin is not eating so frequent, cutting out the carbs. But to do that, you have to increase fat to be able to go from one meal to the next. So if you did this on lean protein, you would crash and burn because it would be too hard.
It's a lot harder.
Yeah.
It was a lot harder. You do lose weight, but it's a lot harder, and you fail. Eventually, you won't be able to hold it long term, which is the whole idea.
So what you're doing now is, do you feel that it's sustainable?
For sure, definitely, because I enjoy what I'm eating. I don't go hungry. I enjoy what I'm eating, and most importantly, the energy I have now, I don't want to lose that energy.
Right. Yeah, I know. It's incredible.
I don't want to lose that energy. I've never had so much energy. So I really want to keep up that activity level. And since I'm enjoying myself, I'm not really depriving myself of any pleasures. And when I eventually want to have something really sweet, I'll have some diet fat-free diet Jello or something like that, or maybe I'll have some whipped cream without sugar. And then strawberries, maybe some berries, and that's it. That's it. Basically, I understood one thing, is that if I want to stay lean and keep the energy level, I can't eat the carbs. Right. If I eat the carbs, I will gain the weight back. I understand that. For some reason, the overweight mind thinks like this: I'm going to do the diet so I can lose the weight, so eventually I can eat like I did before. No.
Right. It doesn't make sense.
Cannot go back.
Yeah.
But that's how we think.
I know.
That's how obese head thinks.
But there's so many other things you can eat to make it enjoyable, and I think you figured that out. So I want to thank you so much for this interview. It was really great to meet you and get the person behind the before and after, which is incredible. So I just want to say well done. Good job, and
thank you. Very much.
you.
It meant a lot to me. Thank you.
Okay.
I want to thank you for all the great information. Beautiful work, beautiful job. I really appreciate it.
Oh, my pleasure.
And I am telling everybody I can, the work is great. You explain everything really well, and you're light years ahead of what's out there in the medicine field. Let me tell you.
I appreciate that. Thank you so
very
much. Okay.
Bye-bye. Have a good one.
Bye-bye. You too.
Bye.